Good evening. Welcome to the Calexico City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority regular meeting agenda. Today, Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. It is 5:35. So it's a closed session. Clause called to order. Due to the declaration of emergency, this meeting is being held pursuant to AB 361, approved by Governor of California on September 16, 2021, and some or all city council members may participate in this meeting by teleconference. Pursuant to Imperial County Public Health Department guidelines, city council meetings are now open to the public, attended at 100% capacity of the council chambers. Public participation will continue to be available in the following ways. Members of the public are encouraged to watch the meeting via live stream at http://communityspectrum.org live at 6:30 p.m. or via the Calexico City Hall Facebook page at www.facebook.com City of Calexico CA. Members of the public will be able to make public comments in the following ways. In-person comments, submit public comments via email by 2 p.m. on Wednesday, June 1st, 2022 to our city clerk at gggarcia@calexicoca.gov or via fax to 760-768-2103. Or you may be able to make public comments via Zoom from a PC, Mac, iPad, iPhone, or Android device. And the telephone number you dial is 1-669-900-6833. The webinar ID number is 816-4955-6588, and the passcode is 200266. And I will call roll call. Mayor Javier Moreno is here. Mayor Pro Tem Camilo Garcia.
Here.
Council Member Raul Ureña. Council Member Gloria Romo.
Here.
And Council Member Rosy Ariola Fernandez.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. We now have public comments, not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on closed session items only. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please say your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. The City of Calexico is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Please direct your questions and/or comments to the City Council. And do we have any public comments? None? Okay. Moving along, now we're going to adjourn to the closed session. A closed session of the City of Calexico, Calexico Community Redevelopment Agency, Successor Agency, Calexico Financing Authority may be held in accordance with state law, which may include, but is not limited to, the following type of items: personal matters, labor negotiations, security matters, providing instruction to real property negotiations, and conference with legal counsel regarding pending litigation. The closed session will be held in City Hall Conference Room located at 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico, California. Any public comment on closed session items will be taken before the closed session. Any required announcements or discussion on closed session items or actions following the closed session will be made in the City Council chambers at 608 Heber Avenue, Calexico, California. And it is 5:40. We're going to close this closed session. Come to order. I will take the roll call. We have Mayor Javier Moreno here. Camilo Garcia, Mayor Pro Tem.
Here.
Raul Ureña, Council Member.
Here.
Gloria Romo, Council Member.
Here.
And Rosy Ariola Fernandez, Council Member.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Please stand up for a pledge of allegiance. Please remain standing. We'll now read the mission statement pledge.
City of Calexico mission statement. Together, we pledge to provide effective and efficient services in a courteous and respectful manner to to improve the quality of life for all in our unique water community. Viva Calexico.
And now we have an invocation by Councilwoman Gloria Romo.
Thank you. Señor Jesús, me permito repetir tus santas palabras. Donde dos o más se reúnen en mi nombre, ahí estaré yo, en medio de ellos. Por eso pido, mi Dios, que te hagas presente en esta nuestra reunión. No salgas de nuestros corazones para tener la humildad de escuchar, la atención para comprender, el amor para aceptarnos mutuamente. Contigo entre nosotros el diálogo será fluido y sencillo. De esta manera nuestras opiniones podrán ser constructoras de soluciones, por lo que podremos crecer en las diferencias que puedan surgir. Gracias, Señor Jesús. Amén.
Muchas gracias, señor Romo. Por favor, tomen asiento. Our next item is the approval of the agenda. So moved by Romo. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oh, second.
Who seconds? You said?
No,
Who seconds?
nobody will do it, no second. Well, let's go back.
Yeah. So it's
So second.
motion made by
This is fair.
Ms. Romo. Who seconds it?
Okay.
I just had a quick question though.
Okay.
Una preguntita. This particular agenda, is this one of the agendas that would be wise to do most of the items in one motion?
We could.
We could.
If that's,
Or is there some that you want to discuss, pull out? ¿O quieres ir uno por uno?
It's better we go one by one.
One by one, you
And
think?
yes.
Okay, está bien.
hold on.
Muy
Yes.
bien,
We have the closed session report.
That's one.
muy bien.
Closed session.
Yes, go ahead.
Just that there were no reportable actions in tonight's closed session.
Got it. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
going back to this,
Next to the agenda.
yeah.
Approval of the agenda.
Yeah.
Approve the agenda.
One by one is good.
You want to do the whole, or you want to go by one?
We'll see when we get there.
Well, for now, let's keep it as is, we
Sí,
can't just,
está bien, no
so
cambia la moción.
first, second, who was second?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
motion made, second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, motion carried. All right, now we have presentations. The first one is presentation by Ivan. There you go. It's the Building Services Department on Planning, Building, and Engineering Services, updated for April and May 2022.
Is this on? Yeah. Good evening, council, staff, and community members joining us. This is going to be an update on the building planning and now engineering department, which has been joined into the planning department for the months of March, April, and May of 2022. Can you go? Next slide, please. On the building side, we had a total of 201 building permits issued for those months, March, April, and May, and the total fees collected were 268,000. With the fees combined between different permits, we had ADUs, renovations, new construction, that totaled that amount, 268,000. Can you go on the next slide? For the engineering projects, and municipal projects in particular, we have the first one is the Calexico alleys, which consists of the resurfacing of several alleys in the city of Class 2 base. And we plan to deliver the bid package on June 14, that is in 2 weeks, for the actual RFP. We also are conducting a study on the engineering fee, an update on it. And the proposal will be brought up to council on the second meeting of July of 2022. We are also in the engineering department creating a new parking lot standard like a design guideline for developers to actually be more concrete on the guidelines that we ask in the engineering department, because right now we have a lot of ambiguity on the state law and the federal law regarding environmental impact and water quality. I believe that a parking lot standard will save the city a lot of time in the review process, and it will save a lot of time for the developer as well on the design aspect. I will plan to bring that to council in September of 2022 as well. The engineering department is also working on the development impact fees update with Director Lisa Tailenda. We plan to perform a gathering of data of whether or not we can impose a moratorium on certain impact fees in order to incentivize development for the infill of the city. This will reduce the vacant lots that we have a lot in the city, and these lots tend to be dirt lots, and dirt lots create a lot of dust and reduces the air quality of the city. So that's something that we are working on with Lisa Talenda from the planning department. Next slide, Gabby. Also in the engineering department, besides the municipal permits, we had a total of 15 permits approved and issued. These permits total for encroachment 17,000 and grading 11,000. The data reflected on those amounts is from January to today, because the prior reports did not include the engineering department, as the engineering department was part of Public Works. Next slide, please. This is also something that the building staff is preparing for next month. The development, the economic development is going to be prepared for the public for their review, and the downtown recovery plan is going to be brought up to council for their approval, and then the subsequent release to the public. Next slide. That's it for me this evening. If you have any questions.
Just a quick question.
Yes?
On the alleys.
Yes.
Is that was just approved from the county to be repaid? Okay.
Yes. That's the
So
one.
I was at the off-site meeting for the Board of Supervisors, and they already had a map, identify all the alleys. So is that what you're talking about, that we will get on the 14?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so that's great, and if you can also make it available for the community to see, because I did get, in fact today I did get a phone call from someone that is concerned that there's an alley by one of the properties, or where he lives, that hopefully that is in the plan to repay. But again, we don't have a way to determine, and maybe if that can be included also on the map as to how those alleys were picked to be repaid, so information put to the public so they can know.
Yes, in the
Okay.
bid proposal, there will be a map of exactly which alleys are included in the.
Yes, so again, the county already has it, so I think we're a little bit behind on that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Ms. Garrett. Just to piggyback on his statement, it's important to citizens to know to be patient, because the list provides, I would think, the times and dates and locations and milestones, so people would say, oh, you know what, on this date, on this year, on this month, it's going to come to my house or my alley behind me. So when they see construction on one time, it's not because they're not going to get to them. Eventually, they'll get to them because there's a list.
Yes,
Right.
the list is divided in 3 phases. We're going
Right.
to divide the whole project into 3, and
Right.
the whole project has his own.
Right, and we can put it on a website, like Mr. Garcia was saying, people can go in there and look at that information as we're developing.
Sure, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for the accessible, concise, and informative presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Romo, anything?
Congratulations. Thank you.
Ms. Arreola Fernandez, anything?
No,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for your
Council.
presentation. Next item is the COVID-19 update.
Good evening, Honorable City Council, Mayor, and all the citizens of Calexico that are here today. I always enjoy seeing a bunch of people in here. It means that our government is working For the COVID-19 update, we have a slight increase in our COVID-19 cases. We currently have a rate of 14.2 per every 100,000. And if you go back and look at our initial numbers in April, early April, we were at 1.5 cases per every 100,000. So our rate is increasing, and obviously this is the rate for the county, okay? So for Calexico, we have a slight increase, not a real big jump. But since the pandemic started, we've had a total of 13,577 people who were diagnosed with COVID. Currently, we have 53. And if we went back to our last meeting, I think we had like 47. So we saw a little bit of an increase there. We're also showing an increase in our sewer monitoring. There was a slight increase in there as well. We're still trending as the lowest county so far. So that's welcoming and good news. And I just need to highlight that we started the first, I believe it was the 31st, we had our opening at the Women's Improvement Club where the state came down to do the vaccinations for the children. We're gonna have the second one toward the end of the month of June. And the COVID shots, vaccines are always available. If you need information, go to our website and you can find all those locations that are providing it. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Valida. Next item is the announcements. These proceedings may be viewed on the City of Calexico website at www.calexico.ca.gov the Friday following the City Council meeting. Community office hours with Mayor Moreno will be held by appointment. Please contact the City Clerk's office at 760-768-2102 to schedule an appointment. Next item is public comments and public appearances. Not to exceed 3 minutes. This is the time for the public to address the City Council on any item not appearing on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City of Calexico. However, if the item you wish to comment on is on the consent agenda, please comment now. The mayor will recognize you, and when you come to the microphone, please say your name and place of residence for the record. While members of the public are encouraged to participate, it is unlawful to disturb or delay the City Council meeting with personal or slanderous remarks. The City Council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. If the item on the agenda you wish to comment is on the public portion of the agenda, we will take your comment when we get to the item on the agenda. Please direct your questions and comments to the City Council. So I do have on public comments, I have 5, and then I have 2 extra items on public comments on particular items of the agenda. We're going to go through this first. The first one up is Mr. Ben Horton. Where are you? There you go.
Mr. Mayor, distinguished members of the City Council, and the public. The reason why I'm up here today is to carry on to what we had on our special agenda in reference to Rosie. You made it a point to remove her as on your appointee for the transportation. You said that she was going to be placed on another committee, which was going to be tied into Mexicali, and you were going to appoint her. I mentioned that it wasn't on the agenda. You said you were going to be talking about her. Maybe you can make some comments to see where we're at in reference to Rosie on your comments. This morning, this is a different subject, there was a young lady, several young ladies that said that the mayor has selected them to work on a project for Father's Day. For some reason, I was somewhat lost because I didn't know anything was planned for Father's Day that the mayor is working on. I hope that you can go through and explain what's taking place, because I'm sure the public would like to know, especially the parents and the fathers especially, what's taking place, and you can help us on that part if you want to make a comment on that. So here we are. I'll let that be your point to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horner. Next person is Ms. Norma Valenzuela.
Muy buenas, bendecidas tardes tengan cada uno de ustedes.
Buenas noches.
A la honorable asamblea. Estamos aquí presentes, mi nombre, yo soy Norma Valenzuela, representando a la comunidad seniors del Community Center de aquí, de Calexico, California. Anteriormente gozábamos de un privilegio que yo creo los niños teníamos mucho que no usábamos. Teníamos nuestras clases, teníamos nuestro comedor, teníamos nuestras fiestas. Se comprende que ahorita en la actualidad, por tantos problemas económicos que estamos pasando, no nada más la ciudad, sino todos nosotros, pero con tristeza estamos viendo que el Community Center ahorita en la actualidad está corto de dinero, no nos puede proporcionar todo lo que anteriormente teníamos. No pedimos que nos den todo lo que anteriormente teníamos, pero sí que consideren un poco a los seniors que por años trabajamos, por años estuvimos pagando nuestros impuestos, por años algunos de ustedes, yo en lo personal, trabajé en el campo, no teníamos Día de Madres, no teníamos Navidades, no teníamos absolutamente nada, porque había que levantar o llevar la cosecha. Si ustedes como representantes no nos ayudan en este aspecto, pues nuestra comunidad seniors, que es muy amplia, pues estarán las salas de emergencia o los hospitales, porque nos van a quitar una manera más mejor de vida. Es cuando uno está en el departamento, en el salón de seniors, se siente uno segura, se siente uno amparada, porque la misma dirección que maneja el Community Center está al pendiente de nosotros, que si se enfermó, que no se enfermó, que ya la llevo, que ya la traigo. Entonces es una seguridad estar allí, pero sí con tristeza miramos que se nos están yendo las clases, se nos están yendo porque no hay suficientes fondos para pagarle a los maestros que anteriormente teníamos. Ya perdimos 2 clases que para mí en lo personal es más importante por mi edad, que es el Tai Chi. El Tai Chi nos ayuda tanto mental, espiritual y físicamente. Y nos ayuda también a convivir con más respeto con nuestra comunidad. Entonces, pedimos, por favor, que intervengan ustedes, no sé si tengan que dar más fondos para pagarle a los maestros. Yo respeto que lleguen a un acuerdo en que tú me das y yo te doy, para tener nuevamente a esos maestros que nos ayudaron físicamente, espiritualmente y mentalmente a seguir adelante. Por eso los seniors que están aquí están como están. Y son seniors que han actuado de diferentes maneras, porque han sabido llevar las prácticas de los diferentes maestros, ya sea de aeróbic, ya sea de zumba, ya sea de costura, ya sea en general. Estamos hablando en general, y es una tristeza que si ustedes no nos ayudan a llevar esos fondos a la administración del Community Center, pues estamos viendo con tristeza que nosotros los seniors nos están haciendo un lado. Ya dimos mucho, ya merecemos disfrutar lo que anteriormente estábamos disfrutando. Entonces, les suplicamos, por favor, porque los seniors nos vamos a venir abajo. No debemos permitir eso. Debemos que los seniors nos tenemos que mover, nos tenemos que actualizar, porque hemos aprendido mucho dentro del Community Center. Entonces, hagan lo posible, por favor, por llegar a un acuerdo. Yo no me quiero ir al hospital, pero tampoco me quiero ir a caminar a las calles a cómo está la situación ahora. Community Center nos da una seguridad de que ahí estamos seguros. En la administración se enfermó una seniors, ahí están ellos, inmediatamente hacen todos los movimientos para darnos la atención que merecemos. Creo que nosotros los seniors merecemos más todavía. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. Sí.
Señora, ¿cuál es su nombre?
Norma Valenzuela.
Señora Norma Valenzuela, es un placer haberla tenido aquí con nosotros, aparte de que es una señora muy hermosa, por cierto. Quiero decirle que la felicito por hacer el tai chi. Yo también lo hago, pero luego me rajo y ya no lo sigo haciendo, ¿no? Pero sí, la verdad, mis hijos están preparados en tai chi también, les ayudó mucho en la escuela, sacaron muy buenas calificaciones, porque se dedica uno, ¿verdad?, a respirar mejor y todo eso. La felicito, señora. Y en cuanto a lo que usted ha pedido aquí, créamelo que ya lo estamos trabajando con la señora Norma, que es nuestra directora en recreación, muy activa. Ya ella nos jala las orejas también a cada ratito, pidiendo precisamente para programas para personas mayores. De hecho, la señora acaba de aplicar. Vamos a tener ya pronto, Norma, lo de alberca ya abierta. En fin, yo creo que estamos aquí, señora, para servirle a usted y a toda la comunidad. Repito, es un placer tenerla y por supuesto vamos a responder a todas las necesidades muy pronto, primero Dios. Gracias, señora.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias. Next one is Oscar Pesqueira.
Hello, good evening, Mayor, City Council, the public. I just came up here very shortly. First of all, I wanted to thank the Public Works Department. I did not have a chance to do this a while back. They've been tons of help. The heavy equipment personnel, operators, did a tremendous job at the Walmart fire, downtown fire. We had 2, 3 large fires by the FedEx facility. We wouldn't be able to do it without that department. I want to thank Lily, Mr. Solano, and the whole group out there. I know that for Parks and Rec, unfortunately, they have 5 people, but I do think they're doing a great job. I can only imagine how much more work they would do if they had a little more personnel and help out there. But that's coming, of course. And of course, I would like to thank PD. I know they're very shorthanded as well, and they've been out there with us on these fires, and I see the same police officers out there over and over with us. Pulling hose, we're only 2 guys on the fire engine sometimes, and they come in also and really do their part from dispatch all the way down. And of course, I want to thank everyone here. So we come a long ways. These last several months, 6 months, 7 months was a long time, but we came through. We really appreciate it. On behalf of the Fire Association and the fire department, really thank you very much. I do believe the city is going the right way. We're going to have our ups and downs, of course, but I don't see the last or the end of it, as we say, right? Because there is no end. It's always working. We're always trying to work for the right things out there. But I do believe, and I told my chief, I have not seen this in quite some time. And like I said, I've been here for quite some time, 23 years or more. This is the first time I see this. And I really thank you, we thank you, and we still want to work. Keep working forward. I told the guys at work, my family members, so what happens when, for example, we don't change the filters and the oil in our car? We don't want to pay the $60, $70 because we're broke, the check didn't come in, or it's just, we don't want to do it. We prolong things for so long that toward the end, we pay a large price. They fail, right? We don't change the oil now, figures on the line, we're changing the whole car even, spending $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. I truly believe we were all victims of this because of our past, years ago. And so I think we shouldn't let this go. There's still tons of work to be done out here, from all of public safety, dispatch, to our parks, to our senior citizens. But I do believe, again, we are headed the right way. And we look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Pesquera. Our next speaker is Jesse Garcia.
Jesse.
Comisionado.
Jesse, we're
Hay que llevarle el micrófono.
Sí, lo más. No, él quiere venir para acá arriba.
No sirve.
Nomás
Sí.
hay que darle ese.
A lo mejor este no sirve, ¿no?
Good evening. My name is Jesse Garcia, 600 block Lincoln Street in Calexico. Today I have a few things. I want to start with the US flags that were not set up again downtown this Monday. Before, as many of you seen the picture I put, yes, it was way back then, almost 100 years ago, when the city of Calexico started putting up those flags in the downtown area. And now, for some reason, it's not happening anymore. It's sad to go to that area, to downtown, and see the flags are not there no more. Yeah, when it first happened, I got couple of phone calls asking me what's going on. And they go, yeah, the flags are there. They should be. I know, because when I used to work for the city, Public Works, I was one of them that would put up the flags from 2nd Street, from all the way from 2nd, from Imperial to Heber Avenue, on both sides. And then we go to 1st Street, also all on 1st Street. Then we go to Imperial Avenue. We have a whole bunch of flags, all the way to Highway 98, and then back from Imperial Avenue to La Salida. Yes, I noticed that when we go pick them up, that there were sometimes a flag or two missing, being stolen. And after the years, more than the half of those flags are gone. There's only a handful left. At least we should have put those flags up. But I think we should get more flags. I mean, we should get more flags. We should honor our veterans, especially those who sacrifice their lives for us. And we're not doing it. That's sad. We should get those flags that cannot be stolen. The ones that are strung from one building to the other, just like the Christmas decorations. Those, it's impossible to steal. And we should get the flags to continue doing it on Imperial Avenue, on every street light. But we cannot go another holiday without recognizing our veterans. I've been told Calexico is the only city that's not doing it. You know, the veterans, people thought, I was thinking maybe the veterans bought those flags, but I was told no. The veterans didn't buy the flags that they put at the cemetery and in the monument right here next door. That's what they do. That's their part. But we need to get those flags. We need to show the people that yes, we care about our veterans. So I hope that will be taken care of. 4th of July is almost here. Maybe it's not going to be on time for 4th of July, but maybe the next one. The other one is palm trees that are on the parkways. Yes, I heard that the city planted those palm trees back in the 50s. And back then there used to be a big crew. So we had a crew just to go around town cutting those palm trees owned by the city. Now, there's not enough people to do that. But at least when somebody calls concerning the palm trees in front of their house, in front of their parkway, we should at least do that, take care of their palm trees. I have here 2 families. One of them, it's right here just down this block, 500 block, 7th Street. There's 3 palm trees. And with all the arson fires going on, they told me that they're afraid one day someone's going to light their palm trees on fire in front of their house. We need to have those palm trees trimmed. It's not all of the palm trees like we used to know. It's just those 2 houses. The other one is at the 1000 block Emerson. Also, they told me the same thing. So now everybody's coming up considering the palm trees, only those 2 families, and I think we could take care of those 2 families and have their palm trees trimmed. And they even told me if they want to remove it, well, remove it or trim it. Because they told me that 3 years ago. And I reported that and it hasn't been taken care of. So hopefully also that will be taken care of. The other one is our parks. I have come many times before the previous council and this council and nothing has been done on Rodriguez baseball field. It's in very bad shape. The fence around the baseball field has broken pipes, rusted, holes all over. The backstop for years has been leaning on one side and also have broken and rusted pipes. The field is still not ADA accessible. There's a coach that coaches Beirut. He uses a wheelchair. He's paralyzed. And sometimes he needs help to get into that park because it's only gravel. I also use a wheelchair, but mine's a power chair, so I could do it, but have trouble getting in there, but my wheelchair can. But we need to have that place paved or with asphalt. Like at Starfield and El Centro, even the bleachers have ramps for disabled people. I know that the city was getting the soccer fields on Andrade ready for the season, upcoming season. So that's great. That's great. The city took some time to, probably a month working there. But what about the baseball fields and other fields, basketball? We also need to get those things ready for the next season, because Rodriguez Park, like I said, it's not. I mean, it's embarrassing for people to come and see that park the way it is. Also, Nosotros Park.
Yes.
Have reported this many times. The basketball court has big holes. You can see the bars sticking out, the metal bars. At one time, some guys that would play there all the time had to cover those holes with duct tape because they wouldn't do anything about them, about those holes. So the holes are still there. You want to go see it, walk to the basketball court. Not only that, the Little League field also, and Nosotros. Sprinklers will turn on. We're supposed to put in automatic sprinklers, and it hasn't happened. Oh, also, what happened to that money from, I think it's called, Measure H? That was way more money than we need to buy trash cans, and I haven't seen trash cans yet on our parks. The other day, because I pick up the trash at Rodriguez Park, I go there on my wheelchair with a trash bag and one of those grabbers to clean the park. There was a big mess by the picnic area because there's no trash cans, and many people, they're passing by on the trip, and they can't take their trash with them. And there's no trash cans to put the trash in, so they just leave it right there on the table and the wind will blow them away. I mean, I've also stated to this council many times about the trash cans. And so far nothing. So I thought with this money, yes, we're going to see trash cans very soon. Well, it hasn't happened. So I hope I don't have to come back again with the same thing over and over and over. Because this is not the first time or the second time. And I hope it won't be the last. I hope it will be the last time. All right?
All right.
So, thank you very much, and I'll probably be back.
Thank you, Jesse.
Hey, Jesse, before you leave, I got the 1000 block of Emerson. What was the other address? On 7th Street, I believe you said?
Yeah, it's just right here. 7th Street, 507th Street.
Thank you.
It's a house next to the corner of Blair and 7th.
Mr.
That's like the locust residence.
Mr. Garcia? Okay. If you could just stick around for the city council comments or just view them online, I'll give you a little preview of how we're going to allocate those monies for the parks. If you could stay here for city council comments. No, the city council comments. I'll tell you the specifics.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dylan Castillo.
Before I start, I'd just like to say that this is beautiful seeing community members come together from all varying ages, and this is the type of work that me and my organization love to do, and so I just encourage everyone to continue to participate. With that said, good morning, Mayor, City Council, City staff, and members of the public. My name is Dylan Castillo, and on behalf of Imperial Valley Equity and Justice Coalition, we'd just like to start by acknowledging the month and say Happy Pride. The LGBT community at large, but especially in Imperial County, have faced high levels of discrimination, homelessness, and suicide, and Ivy Equity and Justice would like to honor Marilyn Cáceres, a trans woman who was murdered, and all those who have fallen before her, and we must right these wrongs for our community. With that said, I understand it's part on the agenda, but we'd just like to say that we are fully supportive of our city participating in the Mexicali Pride Parade. We have engaged with community advocates, and the consensus that we've heard is there's concern with the levels of community engagement across all government agencies in the Valley. We will be making recommendations in collaborative spirits to ensure meaningful community engagement in all decisions made for the council. An example is 2 months ago, ARPA was approved, and since then we have not heard much, if at all, updates regarding the implementation, progress, and the opportunities for the communities to engage in forming the implementation going forward. Ivy Equity and Justice will follow up with the City Council with recommendations and submit them to you all in writing. With that said, thank you so much for your time and hope everyone has a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Any online public comment? No? Okay. We are to the city manager's report.
All right, mine will be brief. I want to make a comment that the city helped and participated with the Veterans Memorial event on the 31st on Monday. We were out there with the Baja Runners in cooperation with them, or collaboration, I guess, that we assisted their program. We're out there, provided meals, generators, electronic goods for that. So I personally didn't attend. I know that we did have attendance from our city council, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. I know I have family member in the military, and I think it's an honor that you guys showed up and that we were able to collaborate. That's all I have for my comments.
Thank you. The next item is we have the city council comments and reports of meeting to attend. I'm going to go first. I usually let my cohorts go first, but I'm going to go first because we have a group of young ladies here in our audience. I reached out to Lorenzo Calderon, who's the Calexico Union School District Board President a while back. I learned about your accomplishment, and I wanted to put this together so we can honor you and present you with a merit recognition for your great achievement. So as a point of reference to what I'm going to say is this. The California Interscholastic Federation, CIF, San Diego Section SDS membership includes most public and private high schools in San Diego and Imperial counties. This past Saturday, May 30th, Calexico softball made history at the Poway Sports Complex, where the Lady Bulldogs defeated Hopeville 4-2 for the school's second CIF title. It's an honor to have all of you here tonight. I want to acknowledge them for winning the CIF Southern Division Division 3 Championship. We're proud of their winning the second title, and making Bulldog history. Congratulations to these great athletes and group of ladies, because it's the first time ever Calexico softball have had to gone undefeated in the league and in the CIF all the way to win the championship. And last but not least, once again, you have proven that Calexico High School is home of champions. Go Bulldogs. Yeah. So normally what we do up here is we honor you, we recognize you, along with the community, your parents, everybody on Facebook, the whole world's watching right now. We also have here our city council members. So what I'd like to do is present you the mayor's recognition. I'm going to read it to you, but you're going to have to come up here. We're going to take a photo of you, okay? And have your parents that want to come up here. Hopefully we can get you up here. So here it goes. Mayor's Award of Excellence in recognition of the 2002 Calexico High School girls softball team for winning the CIF Division 3 Championship. We celebrate your commitment and contribution to the sport and commend the team for this historic accomplishment. You are an inspiration and true example of excellence. Congratulations.
I want to add something on this. I think the team captains have to do a mandatory speech up here.
Yeah.
A minimum of 10 minutes.
Let me. We're probably gonna have to get closer together, no? Lo acabemos.
Where is your coach? Coach.
Oh, okay, okay.
Todos atrás de... Hay que sentarlos para que se vean sus caritas.
A ver, or is there more?
Para que se vean sus caritas.
Has to be like either.
No hace mayor que usted.
Who wants to sit in this chair? I'm giving you my chair.
Sí, muy buena idea.
Okay, so we're gonna back to you. That's good.
There's one more right here. There you go. We'll be back.
Nosotros acá.
Muchas gracias por su esfuerzo, por todos los días de entrenamiento. Es difícil ganar un campeonato y estar undefeated, ¿no? Hasta lo último. Entonces, muchas felicidades. Gracias a los padres, pues, orgullosos de sus hijos aquí arriba. Es una gran día para ustedes y ojalá el año que viene pues van hasta los nacionales, ¿verdad?
I just want to say a few words, but I didn't know if I had to submit a comment.
No, it's okay.
This is your time.
Well, one, thank you for the community. For those watching, there's a lot of fans that came out. And I do want to use the platform a little bit. Right here? You hear me? I do want to use a platform to advocate a little bit for youth sports in Calexico. I know Jesse Garcia was just up here advocating for Parks and Rec. I believe Señora Valenzuela, creo ese es su nombre, seniors. I'm a Calexico native. I've lived here my whole life, came to school here, I'm an alumni. I'm a product of the Calexico Sports and Recreation Department. I used to be a youth sports rec leader, then a lifeguard, student, and the resources, I am who I am today because of Calexico. The resources that I had as a youth, I believe I was a lifeguard to your child's. Now that I'm seeing you right here, that's great. To see that we no longer have what I used to have, and it's 20 years later, is a little saddening. This year, we had 6 league titles at Calexico Unified School District, and we have no sports rec to support the youth. Imagine what this school can accomplish if we would have money that would be allocated on a regular basis for the youth of the community. When we talk about change, when we talk about impact, yes, I agree. Every single demographic is important. But if we want to create a difference, it has to begin with the youth. I am also a teacher at Calexico Unified School District, and many of my students say there is nothing in Calexico, and that to me breaks my heart. And the amount of work that these kids do with what they have is a lot. And so if I'm standing here with the city council, listen to people like Jesse, listen to ladies like Ms. Valenzuela, who the senior citizen is also funded by the Sports and Rec. We need to fund youth programs at large, and it needs to happen. It needs to be on everyone's agenda, because if champions are made without youth support, imagine what would happen when we do.
make sure that I also, talk to the team or address the team. So again, I had the pleasure and the fortune to be at many of your games here locally and also in San Diego when you play for the championship against Hopeville, at UCSD, not Poway. But anyway, I see that the cheer section is right there too. You know what? You guys did awesome. The parents, Calexico for some reason has a heart. We're unique. We take over the place. And again, coach, very well pointed message and words. But now it's up to us that they go beyond the words. And ladies, young ladies, we're proud of you. We hope that, all those 5 seniors, I think, that are going to move on, keep on making Calexico proud. And the ones that are going to continue with the team, we're going to see you there. I know I remember some of your names, but one that has stuck with me is, I'm sorry if I can call you, right? Shorty, right? I was always looking forward to Shorty, coming to bat, and of course everybody else. But again, let's get familiar with our youth. Let's support them. Let's be out there. Let's just be part of this change, that we're always talking about. But again, I do thank you. This is a great opportunity that you guys witness how democracy, how government works. This is hopefully something that also will encourage you, not just to continue to excel in sports, but also when you go out to get your education, when stay here, come back and continue to make the difference. I do thank you. Proud of you. Looking forward to your accomplishments. Thank you.
Sí. Yeah.
How about la porra? Come on, you guys.
Cáiganle.
Yeah. I know you were the one that was.
Es todo, yes. Thank you. Maestra, ¿le pueden llamar a la coach? Just very briefly, lo mismo que le iba a decir al señor García. Ahorita estamos en presupuesto. We're literally doing the budget right now. June 15th is our next meeting. Ahí es cuando se hacen las decisiones.
I'll be here.
Excelente, es lo que quiero.
Okay, moving along. Anybody start on this side? You want to say comments?
And just wait for them to settle. Ready? Hola, hola, muy buenas tardes, comunidad. Good evening, everybody. Again, just very brief comments. I don't have too much to report. Happy Pride Month, everybody. Of course, month of June, we celebrate the warriors out there who secured the right for equal marriage and equality all across the board here in the United States. Deja que pase un poquito. Thank you, Sergeant. I am going to leave we did attend a conference, ICSC, in Las Vegas. I'm going to leave that update pending so I can give a full report. I wanted to address Mr. Garcia's concerns about the parks. Just to give you a little bit of a preview of how the process is going to be to allocate the funds that we have currently for parks. There's 3 things that you should know. As a parks commissioner, this is what's going to happen. The first one is June 15th. Right now, you see that the budget is not on the agenda. That is because Fire Chief Favila is working really, really hard to do 2 things. To be able to free up as much Measure H money as possible and give it back to the commission where it belongs, where the decisions are supposed to be made, and just have enough resources to allocate even more money to parks. That's going to be June 15th. We have pending the $780,000 for parks from ARPA. All the ARPA spending, whether it's the downtown, the essential employees, the parks, all the allocations that we've made, we're going to slowly start including the commissions and the community, start making a plan on how we're going to decide how to use that money, and sooner rather than later because the necessities are right now. So Measure H budget, ARPA process, and then the grant writing committee. Grant writing committee, I think, is coming on June 15th with a proposal. And grants are a big factor in how much money we can get from the state and other revenue sources so we can just make bigger and better park projects. So those are the 3 things to know to move the parks forward. As far as the flags and downtown, sincerely, I think it would look bad to put flags right now because downtown is dirty. I think we have to clean it up first. Thankfully, we've allocated $3 million, and then there's the $70,000 position with Republic Services that we still have to figure out job descriptions and actually hire a person. So yeah, that's kind of like the essential game plan. We'll keep you updated as a Parks Commissioner so that we can make the process as inclusive as possible. I really appreciate the fact that you go down to the block, to the detail, to the people, as to what things need to be fixed. It's very concerning to see that we still have potential ADA lawsuits in our parks. You know, I think you have your priorities straight. It's up to us to enable your commission to use that money as fast as possible. So that is where we are headed. And thank you so much.
That's it? Mr. Romo.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, blessings to heaven where all those military men who have given their lives for this nation are, and my eternal thank you to all the family members. First, I was very happy to attend the friendly game between Tijuana and Imperial Valley County. This event was organized for Carmen Estrada. And in these events, many people request for me the fence used in the parks, the Krummen Park. And please, if we can put in, it to consideration in the next meeting, please, Mr. Favila, we have the binational soccer at the door for the month of November 2022. It's very good event for Calexico. And then, thank you to the City Council, Raúl Ureña. I had the opportunity to receive more than 20 students and teachers from the Packer Institute of the Brooklyn, Nueva York, it's for the city of Brooklyn, Nueva York, a historic school since 1845 with the K-12 curriculum. The student and teacher were very interested in the history and the culture of Calexico. Thank you to Mr. Durazo, who offered information about below the city. And thank you so much, Norma Gerardo, for your support. And thank you, Señor Favila, too. I attended the Shore Helpline anniversary event, 50 years supporting our community. Margaret Sousa, congratulations to you and everyone who received recognition. And then I would like to congratulate the human resource staff of the city of Calexico for the event they held yesterday for the workers. And at the next regular meeting, Director Denise Garcia will give us a presentation in this event. Thank you very much, Ms. Denise and staff. Mayor Javier Moreno, could you explain to us the reason why the Transportation Commission voted last Wednesday, including a vote before you removed the commissioner? They voted to remove the presidents for Calexico. I think this was a very personal decision. And finally, I just remind you that this coming Tuesday, the 7th, you have to go out and vote. Hay que salir a votar este martes 7 de junio o mandar el voto. It's very important. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. Romo. Mr. Fernandez?
Okay, I attended the League of Cities, and it's always good to network with our neighboring cities. You know, they let us know what's happening, and they give us up to date on different things that are occurring throughout our valley. Also, I did attend the memorial service out in the cemetery, and again, Mr. Garcia, relating to the flags, I think the same thing happened last year. What happened is that the flags, they're not, you know, we could not put them up, unfortunately. They were left in an area that they were either, damaged, and that's the reason why they were not
There's a
up.
couple issues on that one. First one, like you said, they're damaged. They don't look respectful to be flying, right? So we had to get some of those. Another issue that we had that I later found out is that in the 2010 earthquake, a lot of the stands that are mounted on the walls are not in good shape, so we had to get some of those ones. And remember, there's our private buildings, businesses, so we got to get their permission to be able to put the new ones, and as well as there have been modifications downtown, which has prevented us from doing that. So It's obviously something that the city has done before. We're gonna collaborate with the downtown merchants and see if we can get permission to put those mounts back on the buildings and represent our veterans, past and present.
Yes, okay. So we have work to do, Mr. Garcia, and I guess that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Garcia?
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to start my comments just to kind of like set the record straight. You know, I know last week it was mentioned that I was too busy in my job, to get involved in city business, but that's not quite accurate. You know, I have always been available for city functions, meetings, and I'm always available for you. So with that, let me start with some of the events that I attended. First, I attended the Broadly State of the City. I do concur that to network and work with our neighboring cities from throughout the county. I think it's not just a benefit, but something that we need to do more of that. As we know, we're not an island. We're rather part of a whole. So we need to make sure that we're there, not just to listen, but participate. Then also, just like, my colleagues also, I attended the League of Cities. Great information on things that are coming up that we should be, and we're going to be keeping close attention to some of the legislation that is being put in, or going through in Sacramento. There was something that, not something, but one of the things that they touched on is how is the state going to allocate and spend? They used the word spend, but rather I would say that instead of a spending, investing the surplus of the budget that currently exists in Sacramento. So I know there are many proposals. They were talking about care court. They were talking about assistance for the homeless. So a lot of the things that we have been talking about in this council, or at least attending to some of those needs. So again, we're gonna have to keep a close eye on that and make sure that we continue to be engaged. Then also, I attended and participated at the local offsite Imperial County Board of Supervisors meeting. With a lot of the information that was presented, it was pertaining to Calexico. Then on the 27th, I did also attend that Short Helpline 50th Anniversary Gala. Of course, congratulations to all the honorees. It was a great event. It was a great opportunity again to network, to make sure that we participate, to make sure that we, assist, all those victims of that agency works with. So again, it was a great event to be there and to make sure that we contribute to their efforts. Then also on the 28th, I had the opportunity and the pleasure to be at the CIF championship game with the ladies that just left. That was such a festive, day, and everybody was so happy. And again, even though we don't want to talk about that, they just played yesterday also. It didn't go our way, but nonetheless, it was a historic event. It was a festive event. It was the day to be, garnered, So congratulations to all. Great, celebration. Congratulations again to the team, the coaches, the parents, everyone. You know what they say, have a reason, and Calexico will show up in masses. They will even take their pets, and I can attest to that. So, but anyway, thank you for that. And then also on May the 30th, I had the chance also to go to, with the Baja Runners, participate in the morning, helping out with the flags, at 6:30 in the morning. And then also later on at 10, with their remembrance of all the service members that lost their lives. So, let's just remember that it's not just the one day that we have to think about this, individuals that lost their lives and paid the ultimate sacrifice. I think it has to be on a daily basis, not just for them, but for their families. So with that, Mayor, that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Garcia. So, Ms. Romo, you asked me a question. I wasn't clear on that. Can you ask? You have something to say?
Ahorita.
Okay.
After the consent agenda.
So you asked me a question about how it was it that this came about with the voting. My understanding was when I called the secretary for the ICTC is, and I think we were still in the closed session during that time. I think unanimously the board voted. That's what happened.
What is the
To
reason?
remove.
What is the reason?
Well, as you know, I was looking at the bylaws and I was told they don't have to have a reason. They just voted. Yeah, they didn't have to get a reason. They just unanimously voted to move. The vice chair was, I think it was Maria from California. She was the vice president, and put her there in the absence of us not. Yeah, for that move we did.
This position is for the city or for the person?
Well, what happens is that it's the Imperial County Transportation Committee is comprised of different organizations, and we have a seat at the table, and then we always assign somebody. The mayor has the discretion to assign people, appoint them, to remove, whatever he wants to do. A discretion with, and so what happens is that we do have representation there, and then we do have an alternate, just in case the primary can't go. I've always served as an alternate because I want to give everybody the opportunity to serve on the captain. It's to get experience, right? I mean, I could serve as a primary, but because I'm doing a bunch of other things going on, in Calexico and other commissions that at the California, at the level, the state level, at the municipal level, at the county level. So I'd rather have you guys up here and so. But anyway, that's what we assign somebody there, and so we do have a voice there at the table. So that's what happened. They voted.
I think there's a comment from legal.
Mr. Mayor, maybe you'd like to agendize this for a future item. It's not on tonight's agenda. So.
No, that's fine. Okay, I just want to clarify. I wasn't sure what. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure.
After the consent agenda. After we vote on consent, then just a question.
So now we got to the consent agenda. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the City Council, Calexico Redevelopment Agency, successor agency, or Calexico Financing Authority, and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any item may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the City Council. Do you have a motion?
To approve A and I, all consent agenda.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ureña. All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye, aye. Okay, motion carried for all. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I just had a question. So we have items 10 to 17 that are mostly contracts.
Right.
I wanted to ask the council which one of these we want to pull for discussion, and so that the rest of them we can just vote as one motion.
I think Mr. Garcia had.
Mr. Garcia had a couple items he wanted to pull. Yeah.
I personally don't. You can just.
Yo también. I'm okay with all of those.
I do want some on 13. 13, and then also I want also 15. And what was up to what number?
Up to
17.
17.
17. And then I want to also 16.
16. Okay.
So you said 13 and 16.
Yeah, 16 and
13, 15, 16.
yeah.
Right?
So two items, 13 and 16.
No, actually 3 items.
3 items, 13, 16, and
15.
15, 1 5.
Yes.
Okay.
So I will make a motion to approve items 10 to 17 with the exception of 13, 14, and 16. Or sorry, 13, 15, and 16.
15 and 16.
Okay.
Second.
Second, Ms. Romo, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, good. Now we'll move
Gabby,
to, yes.
just real quick, do we have comments, any public
No,
comments?
that's
on-
what I checked right now. No, we're okay
Okay.
because the specific comments from the public is 19 and 21. Yeah. Thank you. All right, so we'll start with item 13, since you wanted to discuss on that. Authorize the interim city manager to sign settlement agreement and stipulation for entry of administrative civil liability between the City of Calexico and the California Regional Water Quality Board, Colorado River Basin.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and those of you present and watching via social media. The city owns and operates the Municipal Wastewater Treatment Plant. The plant discharges to the New River, and we have the permit to do that from the Colorado River Basin Regional Water Board. Since 2014, some of our samples have either are high or low, and we were informed, of course, of a violation at our wastewater treatment plant. The violations are in total of 30. It totals up to about 81,000. We have been discussing this matter with the regional board, and they said that we can go through their supplemental environmental program where we propose 2 projects, or it may be 1. Instead of billing or sending the fees to the regional board, we can have that money used locally for our project, which we're proposing to have 2 projects for the New River project. One is the lighting and the cameras, and then the next is also to assist us with removing some of the plants that are along the New River.
Okay. So, which is good. At least they gave us, which is good. Which at least they gave us the opportunity to, you know, make the best out of this situation. Now, my question is that I know based on the backup, you know, we go back to 2014, you know, with some of these concerns. So, and all throughout until, you know, I don't know if it's up to the present, but until what time have we had this, you know, concerns?
These violations, the 30 violations, are from 2014 to 2020.
2020?
Yes.
Okay, so now,
Can we maybe give explanation of why
Correct.
these 30 violations are? I
Yes,
also want to
that's-
make it clear that this is for the sewer and not our water.
Correct.
Just make sure that we're very clear on that one.
yes,
Yes, the levels or the violations that we are been given is the BOD, the biochemical. There are also the E. coli levels that have been high. The wastewater, what we do is we receive samples before it comes into our treatment plant, and then after it goes out of our treatment plant to the New River. Those samples are collected and are sent to a certified laboratory. Once we get the results, we have to submit a monthly report to the regional board. One of the items that I was talking to the chief, he mentioned, you know, what causes this. It's a variety of situations. I think what I was telling him is for our budget fiscal year 22-23, I have requested a position for a pre-treatment coordinator to help us educate our community, because, you know, we have to prevent, for example, oils, illegal chemicals. All of that, it goes into our system and makes these levels high or not within the standards.
Just right off the bat, how much does this coordinator cost?
Well, this coordinator will require a grade 3 for the operation. I haven't done all the calculations, but I've been working with Sandy to present it for the next.
Roughly
I don't remember.
80,000, 60, 100?
I think it's in the 80s.
In the 80s.
With salary and benefits, yes.
so, are you done with your question?
And I guess the second side to that is, sounds reasonable. Obviously, we want to prevent violations, and it just obviously it becomes tricky when community engagement is a factor here. Obviously, we've struggled with community engagement. We're getting better. So hopefully, we can not only get this position, but also work effectively with the existing community groups, the environmental groups, Comité Cívico, all these gentes, to really make an impact and save the city some money, and obviously the Colorado, the river itself, of course.
Yeah. In addition, right now, we're finalizing the plans for our wastewater treatment expansion project,
Sure.
which was estimated about $30 million. So as soon as we finalize those plans, we will be going out to bid to upgrade our equipment that is deteriorated.
So it's I'm sorry, 80K from the restricted fund, capital fund, right?
It's through the enterprise, yes.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Okay, so this is the reason why I wanted to bring this item, because it involves a few things. Of course, there's the fine component, right? Which quote unquote is a fine, but it's something that we're going to be able to, something's good is going to come out of it. But if we didn't have to even be fined, we wouldn't have to be forced to do these things also. So my point to this is that a few things. First, we have to educate, that, again, discharging of contaminants into our, sewer system, how affects, our ability to clean up the water to the levels that, we needed to have to be discharged. And that, this is not to point fingers, but I think that we need to make sure that we educate ourselves, that we take the responsibility to avoid this type of situations. Now, again, opportunity to learn and to prevent. Then another thing, is there anything that we have done to prevent this, violations that took place from 2014 to 2020? Have we done something? Do we have to purchase any equipment? Do we have to have more chemicals? Is there something that we're lacking or that we need to have in place to prevent this continuous, fines or not complying with the protocols from the water board?
No, well, what is happening since the 2020 is we have staff that are doing the monthly maintenance to our lift stations. They're making sure that our sewer lines are running, in good condition. We have also, started, a lot of complaints that we receive is that lift stations smell. So we've also purchased some chemicals that assist, in the areas where the lift stations are, so we don't get those. So we have been proactive in the maintenance portion of it, but hopefully with the new wastewater treatment plant, it'll help us more because everything will be, our deteriorated equipment will be now up to grade and code, and we will be able to process the wastewater better in a better manner.
Okay, so going back, and I know we're putting a lot of things on our next budget, but I think that's very key, and that's something that I was hoping that when we're talking about ARPA, that we could include. This is the long-term projects. This is the ones that are actually going to have also a huge impact. So if we can just take that into consideration, because it's not just having staff, but also having the proper protocols to prevent this type of situations and be fined, but not just getting punished. But I think it's preventing before having to pay. So again, let's make a note to make sure that we address these issues before they happen. Thank you.
Gracias.
So I move for approval.
Second.
Okay, second, no more discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Thank you, motion carried.
Mayor, I'd like
Yes.
to make a announcement. Councilwoman Rosie Fernandez had to step out, and she won't be participating in the rest of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Let the record reflect. Thank you. Item number 15, authorize interim city manager to sign amendment number 2 to the agreement with the Michael Baker International to provide bid support and consultation to the city for New River Improvement Project, Calexico Reach.
The State Department of Water Resources obtained a grant of $28 million to do 3 components of the New River project. The first one is the trash screen, the second one is the bypass encasement, and the third one would be the pump back system. The state originally hired Michael Baker to prepare the plans and specifications. Once they were done, they were given to the city so we can begin the process of going out to bid. We have started going out to bid for the project. Originally, the bids are due June 14th, but right now we have received several questions as well as requests from contractors to either extend it a week or 2. So we're working on that now. But because the plans were not created by us, we need Michael Baker's assistance to help us, of course, with answering the questions as well as through the construction component of it. So that's why I come before you to request your authorization to sign amendment number 2 with Michael Baker.
Discussion?
So I think this is obvious and excellent because we're definitely going we're reviewing and investigating our own internal controls of bids. Obviously, that's why the budget is paused at this moment. So with such a critical project like the New River project, we don't want to mess up, and it's best that while we're reforming internally, that we hire this person. It's painful for sure. I wish we would be in a better state where I could say with full faith, we're ready, we have the staffing levels, but we're not there yet. So this has to happen, it has to happen.
So on this, I understand we have to go with experts and we have to stick to timelines. But this is the same reason why I'm asking, because there is a deadline, that, we put to these RFPs. And now we just found out that, it's going to be extended another week, which is fine, right? But it's just making sure that we are informed, and not just we as council, but the community. And that's what I wanted to see, the transparency component of this in every project that we involve ourselves. But then also, and maybe ties into this, what I want to see is an update on this project, because it is my understanding that this has gone up in cost. So I want to make sure that we get it from our consultant that we have working on this also, because I want to be informed. I want to make sure that if we were looking at 28 and now it might be a little bit more, I want to make sure that we continue to secure the funding and we continue to stay on target so this project can be to completion, because we have to make sure that these projects get to the finish line on time and with everything that we said that it was going to be done. But again, information up to date with any changes that have been taking place. I want to know, or at least I want to know what we should know. So if something can be arranged for an update on this project, that would be really appreciated.
Yes, I'll go ahead and invite Jose Angel, who is the project manager for this project, to come and give you an update on the report.
Thank you.
Are we looking for the next meeting, correct?
Correct.
Can I need a motion?
Motions for approval?
By Mr. Garcia, anybody second?
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Ureña seconds that, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, motion carried. We are item number 16, adopt resolution number 2022 of the City of Calexico, City Council of the City of Calexico adopting the City of Calexico environmentally preferred procurement policy.
Yes, as part of SB 1383, the cities and jurisdictions are required to pass a environmental preferable policy, which allows the city to meet the goals of Cal Recycling as to purchase recycled products and for food recovery, and also to, for example, for us at the Public Works, to make sure that we buy anything recyclable mulch that can be a benefit to our community. So along with BBK, who has an excellent attorney, helped us create this policy where we made sure that all the guidelines that are required through SB 1383 are stipulated in the policy.
So on this one, if I may?
Yes, go ahead.
I know this is something that has been discussed in other cities as something that we don't know how this is going to affect financially, or how, if this is an unfunded mandate that we're being asked to comply, the recovery of food waste or scraps or whatever we're going to call them, but then also, I think when we roll this out to the community, and that we have to abide, we don't want to be, also be fined, or how that is going to look like. And then also, who's going to be doing the enforcement? Are we going to have someone like at one point you had people going through those trash cans, make sure that you were not contaminating your trash and that you were not putting the trash with recyclables? So I just want to see how this is going to roll out. Maybe you don't have that information, but something to keep in mind, because the public has to be informed. And not just one day to the next, we're going to expect it for them to start doing this for us, because if we don't, they can continue to do what they do, but at the end of the day, the ones that are going to be held accountable is us. And I don't know if there's going to be fines, there's going to be, kind of like slap in the hand to start. who knows? So I want to know a little bit more. I don't know if you have something now that you can share with us, or even just starting a campaign to inform, the public what this means to us and how do we make this work.
Well, for right now, the target is getting commercial businesses, multifamily. Republic Services and our department are in constant communication. A letter was sent out in April, the first letter informing them. Right now, we're working on the second letter, which is a reminder. We'll be sending it out mid-June. And then we'll proceed from there. The SB 1383 ordinance was approved, I want to say back in February, where that stipulates that there will be any type of violation. Of course, we have to make sure that the businesses, multifamilies get the letters. There is also a possibility of waivers, which we also have that information on our website, that if they meet the qualifications, can request a waiver. So we're working together with that. One of the big questions that all cities, when we meet with Cal Recycling, is, do you guys have funds? Do you guys have funds? And of course, they say, we're working on it, or we don't. But we were able to get, I believe it was about $58,000 through their first roll of grant opportunities. So we were granted that money, and that money I have prepared a budget and will be used for education, public outreach, as well as purchase signage. So that's just the first grant that we were able to obtain. Of course, there will probably be another opportunity for others, and we'll keep pushing on getting any type of funds. Right now, I don't have a person just to handle that, but it's something that I'm working behind the scenes to try to get, because it is going to be it is a time-consuming project. We meet with Cal Recycle. We just met about a week ago, and we gave them a little update as to what we're doing, and we seem to head on the right track. But now it's also time to start doing the enforcement and the implementation.
Yes.
So that's where I'm working behind the scenes to see, okay, if it's a position that we have in-house, or if it's a position that we're going to require city council's approval to get somebody. But right now, funding 100% is not there.
I have a question, if I may.
Go ahead.
So this, is this a part of Republic's contract or not a part of Republic's contract?
Republic Services, their SB, when it was approved, I believe on October 2019, it did stipulate that they also will be meeting all SB 1383 guidelines. Part of their contract was they provided $10,000 for us to do the downtown cleaning, and then $60,000 to help us implement the SB 1383.
Okay.
So that the position that I'm kind of thinking of right now, we can probably, or I'll be proposing that we use that funding for that. But I mean, of course, it's just $60,000.
Okay, sounds good. I have just two general questions that are not for now, but just offline, because they'll help me with this. The first one is, I would like to know how many more years we have with Republic, just in general. And then I want to actually know a little bit more about the enterprise funds, the limitations of the enterprise funds. I want to know what is considered water infrastructure. Is artificial grass considered? Is irrigation systems? I just have that curiosity, and so that's for later. Luego me explicas bien. I'll come by your office.
Okay, no problem.
And one last thing on this. So you were mentioning that, so it's businesses and multi-units. When do we get to the residential? Or do we get to the residential, or is this considered?
The residential, I believe, gets in 2024, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So we still have, I mean, we are, in essence, we do have the green, the blue,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the brown. And
Understood.
I guess the brown one or the green one, that's gonna be considered organic as well.
Yeah. So this kind of like first enforcement for businesses and multi-units, that will be kind of like our pilot to see how we're going to implement on a bigger scale with residential. So that should be something that we should be looking at, and we will be looking at. So with that, if you can continue to do that, not just the outreach, but the information, because these are some of the mandates that we have. And, the last thing that I want is for people to be kind of like get caught off guard and well, when did this go into effect? You know, why am I going to be punished? So again, it's on us also to inform them. I'm happy to hear they will be overlooking at having someone doing that outreach, but you know, the sooner the better, because again, the last thing that we want is someone getting fined or punished. You know, people can afford that right now or at any time, you know, for their bottom line. So, but thank you for the information.
And just want to add FYI, special thanks to Jack in the Box because they were the first restaurant to contact us effective in January that they
Nice.
wanted to make sure that they follow SB 1383 and they're our pilot program for now. So there's, I think it's either 4 or 5 Jack in the Boxes that are doing the organic selection and organic waste.
That's great. So I guess I'll have to go to Jack and,
Yes.
you know, patronize him. But thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. I need a second.
So with that, I move for approval if there are no more
Second.
comments.
So approval, who's second? Is Romo second, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried, thank you. So we have 4 items more remaining. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take care of, because we have 2 commissioners here who put in the applications, so you can send them away. I know they're tired, wanna go home, get them done. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of item number 21, which is appointed by me to the City Boards Commission and Committee. I'm going to appoint Ana Vizcarra Corona for the Police Commission. Thank you, welcome. And also, I have Mr. Jose Garcia to the Measure X, correct? Measure X, thank you, welcome again. Okay, and then we have one more, and I believe that's the City Council as a whole, right? For the Housing Authority.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
that's-
okay,
that's
so
all.
I'll go ahead and take care of that one. And that was, we have one person, Ms. Gloria Tovar, and I believe, does everybody make a motion for appointment? Unless there's
Make a
discussion.
motion for appointment.
Okay, make a motion made by Mr. Garcia, anybody second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Ureña, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you, motion carried, that takes care of those items. Now-
Wait,
yes.
I think was there a public comment on 21? There was a public comment on 19? Yeah, ¿cuál era?
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, but we're getting to that right now.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, no, I just took care of those easy ones.
Okay, yeah.
19 and 21.
So now we're gonna go to,
Actually, there was one for 21.
Yeah, for 21 specifically.
who was that, Mr. Benny? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Benny.
So sorry.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I remember that number was in there. I'm so sorry.
It's because you sat in the back. We're used to having you up here in the
El
front.
21. Estamos en 21.
Thank you, Mr. Urena, for taking care of me. Well done.
Always, Commissioner.
The reason I put 21 and also 19, don't forget 19. All right, on 21, and this is in general, in reference to the committees, I noticed we've been talking about the budget and moving forward with the budget, but I think you better check the bylaws. I wouldn't want you to be in violation of your own ordinance. You better check the bylaws for the economic and financial advisory when it comes to budgets. You might be interested in reading what we're responsible for when it comes to the budget. Okay? And that's doing your due diligence. I hate for somebody to write a letter to the FPPC saying that the city council violated their own ordinance. And that's a very serious point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horton.
Thank you, Mr. Horner. Okay, so we have 2 remaining items. The discussion of the poll is going to take us a while, so let's go to the number 19 for the sake of the argument and the time. So 19 is provide authorization for 2 council members to attend the Marcha de Orgullo in Mexicali, Baja California on June 11, 2002. And I believe that's your item, Mr. Aurelio?
Long story short, as the only LGBT council member here, I definitely would like to go to this event in representation of the city of Calexico. Any council member that would like to join me is free to do so. I already have heard from some of you that there's a very busy weekend, so I leave it up to the council, but I would definitely like to go.
Any discussion, if anybody wants to go?
I have contents for my family.
Oh, you have scheduled conflict?
I have a commitment also. I have a commitment also.
Okay, then I guess I'll join you.
¿Vas a venir?
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for myself and.
Don't forget number 19.
No, yeah, we're.
Oh,
Hold your motion.
I'll hold my motion. Yeah.
Mr. Benny Horn, please.
My inquiry, is there any cost to the city on this?
No.
Because we have to be very careful how you use public funds on this, okay? And certain things are to be used with public funds, certain things are not to be used with, and don't let it be, I'm going to use the word misunderstood. Make sure that there's a disclosure saying that no public funds are used, please.
And just to highlight on that, there is no funds being used for this, or the city.
That's good.
Thank you, Mr. Horn.
Thank you.
Okay, that leaves us to the last one, which is item 18.
The motion?
I'm sorry, the motion, you made a motion?
I'll make a motion for the mayor and myself to go to this event.
And a second by Ms. Romo, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried, thank you. Now, item 18, discussion and direction on summer pool program options. I believe, Ms. Romo, you've been very active with this, and you, well, actually, you and I have been very active with this, and also as you, Ms. Garcia. So, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, on this item, we have our recreation director who's going to present this item to you guys. It's a very exciting item.
Yep.
Good evening, honorable council members and staff, members of the public who are watching from home. I'm happy to be here presenting these options to you. Before I do that, if I may make a comment, I know that it's going to be presented on the next agenda, but if I may comment on the request for parks to bring Crummett Park and the fence. Being recreation manager, I do know that we hold a lot of events in that park. And just for you to have a little insight, it is nice to have a fenced park for events. Parents don't have to worry about kids running to the streets. And so just to consider that when we bring this item back next week on the next city council. So again, this is very exciting for me to present a couple of options to you for the summer pool program this year. We met with the school district to see if we could come up with a few options for you as well. So in front of you, if you may go to the next slide, Gabby, thank you. So option one, and this is a very short presentation. The option one, and you will see that there's some changes to the staff report, and that's based because we had an early meeting today, this morning, with the school district, and a few of the numbers have changed, and you will be able to see that in the budget sheet that I just passed along. Option one is a collaborative effort between the Calexico Unified School District and the City of Calexico to share operating staff, instructors, and responsibilities for operating the pool facilities. Pending funding, this program could run from June 11th to August 20th. So that will be a 10-week program starting right after school ends. School ends on Friday, and the following day on Saturday, the pool will be open to the community. Next slide, Gabby, thank you. What you have in front of you would be the program schedule that is proposed on option number one. And just as a side note, we've been working with the school district for the last few years prior COVID for the pool program, for the community pool program. So the following schedule, as you can see at the top, we are dividing the 10 weeks between 6 weeks at the beginning of the summer, and that's because they hold summer classes. So the pool is unavailable in the mornings and only available to the community in the evenings because of the same reason. So the last 4 weeks, which is the bottom side, that would be the remaining 4 weeks of the summer, and that's when the pool would be available all day to us. So just little notes on the right. This is a 10-week program that will offer 80 weeks of swim lessons, 170 hours of public swim, 30 hours of water aerobics, 3 fun family Fridays for the whole duration of the 10-week program. The cost is $54,011 with 57 cents to run this 10-week program. Next slide, Abby, please. So here you have an itemized cost, a revised itemized cost in front of you. To your left in orange, that will be some of the school district's expenses. They will be hiring lifeguards, instructors, pool managers, all the staff necessary to have to have the pool available to the community. And to the right, you have what we need to spend: water aerobics instructors, rec leaders, concession stand supplies for Fun Family Fridays, DJs for Fun Family Fridays, those sort of things. To your left again, for the school district's itemized cost, you will see under the notes at the bottom that everything in italics is being split into 3 ways. That's where some cost savings are happening. When we work together with the school district, some of the costs are divided into 3, and that's on all italic options here. So it is split between the Calexico Unified School District, the after-school program, and the city of Calexico. So we paid 1/3 of the cost on those items. So 1/3 of the cost of the pool tech. Pool tech earns 30 plus the hour. We only pay $10 the hour. They will be providing pool supplies, pool maintenance. That is also split into 3. Again, this is because we are putting our thinking caps together, coming up with ways on how to utilize available funds, either by them or us, and see how we could apply some of those funds accordingly. And because we will be providing some services to school districts' children, they're able to provide us some savings there and split the cost. If you have any questions, council members, please let me know at any moment. Yes?
Oh, not
yet.
Not a question, but just a comment, maybe to cut to the chase. 51,000. If it's coming out of the general fund, we have to think about it. But somewhere I heard that ARPA could at least be used to get us out of this bind for this year, and by next year we can incorporate it into. We would hopefully be able to incorporate it to a general fund. So my question is ARPA eligible? Is this an ARPA eligible project?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, excellent. Okay. No se diga más.
But I would have to obviously confer that, but I want to say it is.
Okay. Excelente.
Ms. Roma,
Uh-huh.
you're going to ask for your...
Okay. Okay, the
Do you want-
general budget is $54,011, no?
Yes, so this is for a
10
10-week program.
10 weeks.
Correct. If we
Okay.
run it the whole 10 weeks with everything in it, it will come up to 54 plus, yes.
Okay, and the less or minus 30,000.
So that's part of my presentation. The donations that we have already on hand, because this is a collaborative effort with the school district, and we've worked together for the last few years. They already submitted some donation letters for funding support in the name of both the Calexico School District and the City of Calexico. They submitted letters to Heffernan Memorial. They submitted letters to IID, the Board of Supervisors. Am I missing one? I think that's it. So right now, what we have already in the books, what has come through already, it's $5,600. $5,000 from IID. This is if we go with option 1, obviously, and $600 from Yum Yum.
Okay, so let's excuse me. I'm just stopping there. So let's assume that we get all those donations. What's the total, Mrs. Romo?
Yeah.
Which is, what's this
It's
one?
30,600.
Okay, so deduct that from the total amount, we have a remaining balance of what?
It's
24,000?
24,000.
Okay, let's round it up to 25,000, right, for the matter of speaking. So if we do that and it comes from ARPA, which we believe it is, this will be a program that is gonna be zero, we're gonna call the citizens, it's gonna be free. At no cost to them, we're not gonna charge, it's good, they're gonna be able to use the pool at no cost, right?
We can definitely
That's
make
important.
that happen.
Okay,
Because it's a community effort, I believe those organizations are gonna help us out because we work with the school district, I understand all that, but it's important that we're gonna use those funds,
It's
it's
free.
zero pay, right? for the citizens.
We can make that happen. We can make everything free, both the swim lessons for
Okay.
children, water aerobics for the adults, and public swim during the
And
times
then you
that-
can go on your website and
It
put
will
the
be stated
programs
on
available
flyers
during
as
the-
well
okay,
that
then
this
now
is
going
free.
back over here, for the amount is that, we deduct that, so the only out of pocket is this, right? And that's gonna reflect in this budget, that the proposal budget for the, pool program,
Yeah.
right?
Out of
Yes.
the ARPA part.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's clear to me.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I mean,
But
If I,
just confirming, we're still talking about option number one, right?
correct.
We're
Okay.
talking about
We just want to make sure that we're putting the numbers to the right option.
Yeah,
So
because we
option
don't
number
know
one-
for sure, right? But
Right,
we don't-
exactly.
We gotta go for what we got here, right?
Exactly.
The base, the contingency they're gonna pay, and if that does, then we deduct it and then out of pocket is the other amount.
Yes, sir.
And
That's it.
when we get that amount, since it come from ARPA funds, we're not gonna charge no citizen, nothing, zero, it's gonna be free for them.
Yeah, if
That's
that's your
important.
guys', if that's your guys' decision, then yes.
Right, and then they go on the website recreation, you can advertise it, hey, these are the pool hours, you come in, come all, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
good,
can make sure we do some kind of campaign to notify the public, yeah.
good, see what you
If I may, this project started back in February, and you were there, Mr. Mayor, from the first conversation and how this was going to be funded. And I'm glad that, we're getting, behind this project. I think, today we had a really very positive, show by the community and even requests, for this type of, investments. Yes, and you're correct, on those statements of donations. Heffernan stepped up and they have, shown interest in contributing to the tune of $20,000, IID $5,000, the county $5,000, Yum Yum Enterprises $600. So, and they were in it from almost from day one, okay? So, and I'm glad that we're in it with the rest. So, one thing that also we need to highlight is that the school district it's actually putting themselves also in this for our community, even though they should just be worried about the students, which they are, and they have everything together. Kudos to them, and they have done a lot of legwork and a lot of investment before we invest a penny ourselves. By certifying lifeguards, recruiting and certifying lifeguards. They already invested, I think, about $12,000 in that. And then also everything out that they're going to purchase based on this budget also, that they're going to they will purchase the uniforms and any other supplies. So they're already investing. I think this is a no-brainer, whether it's ARPA or no ARPA, whether we have to meet with the, Measure H committee, whatever we can find, right? I mean, this shouldn't be something that, whether, yes, we have to check if it's allowable under ARPA, but if not, we have to find a way to fund this, whatever remaining balance we have. This is something that, the coach here, Jennifer, mentioned that. She was a lifeguard, right? She was someone that benefited from these programs. Not just, to have a job, that's very important. Keep in mind that, how many young people are going to have a job during the summer, which for years, there hasn't been an opportunity for them. And in looking at this, wages also, $20 an hour. I mean, that's great. So this is one way that, we're giving back to the community, and we're also giving them, a skill set, something that they will be able to take with them, a certification. And again, we are not paying for that, but the school district is stepping up is taking the bull by the horns. They're leading, and we shouldn't be staying behind. We should be also leading, at the front. Whether it's ARPA, whether it's Measure H, meeting with the committee, I understand that, or even general fund, whatever it is, because again, this goes back to the community. This is employing our young people. That if you do your research, by far the group of our population that is affected, has been affected with highest, and we have a high unemployment here as it is, but the youth are one of the subgroups that have one of the highest unemployment. So even if we don't think about other things, but let's think about the youth. Let's think about how are we going to make sure that they get this experience, they make some money, and they have fun. So I agree with Mayor Moreno that this should be a zero cost, to anyone that wants to go, to anyone that doesn't have a place to go during the summer. Now they're gonna have. We have been talking in previous meetings about, mental health. How is this gonna help? Exercising. Well, this is a great opportunity. So to me, this is a no-brainer, regardless of whatever we find that money that we need to make up. So, I'm really excited. I hope that, it's a 4-0 and we just make it happen. So with that, I'm done with my comments.
Thank you, Monsieur. Let me just say something real quick.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going to just growing up in Calexico, I always used to pool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to donate out of my personal funds $500 for your cost.
Beautiful.
Okay, I will do that.
For the program, not for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so have
Thank you,
$500
that's awesome.
for me.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
My understanding is that there is no vote right now. It will just be reflected in the budget discussion, right? That's when we're going to put the stamp of approval.
But even, I want to say that
We would
if people, not people, but, businesses or anyone that would like to donate, let me put this shameless plug,
See.
There's never, money that is going to be left, We will leave it for next year and make it bigger, right? So if businesses want to help out, we'll put it through. We'll make sure that we'll give you the reports. We'll let you know, and let's just have people have fun. So again, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think it's great. Oh.
Yes.
Ms.
You
Norman?
got a question? Hold on.
Oh, question?
Yes, go ahead.
Adelante.
Just for you guys to know, we would need to work on a joint use agreement with the school district. That's for any option. That's also been the case for the previous years, just so that you know what's going to come in front of you for the next meeting. We do need to have a decision and hopefully money's allocated just so that we can confirm with the school district and they can start securing the staff members that we need, only because this would open next Saturday for the community. So it's
Good.
it's happening now if we move forward with this option.
Okay.
Ciudadano?
Just a collateral question. Before we bring up the actual budget, can you also make a small 2-year plan, just a cost estimate about what it would cost to bring the senior services back up to pre-pandemic levels?
Yes.
And that not for now because it's not the item, but just so we're also
I
considering
can
that.
tell you off the bat that we used to get 50 grand from Heffernan Memorial for senior services, and we used every penny, and it provided all the services they are accustomed to. So only for them, it's 50 grand.
50,000.
Right now in my budget, my total budget, so it was 50 grand from them, and then another 50 grand from the city for the other services to the other community members. So we had a budget of 100,000. Right now, we only have 25,000 for any age, for the whole year.
Is that 50 or 75?
25.
No, lo que se ocupa.
So for seniors, that's what we used to spend on them.
50K.
About 50K. Yes.
Muy bien.
For
So,
everything they're
Mr. Favila, you want direction? Vote on it? What do you want?
Yeah, we need direction.
Oh,
Okay.
From the city council.
Was there a second plan?
There was a second option in my report, but if you guys want to move forward with option 1, I would have one question for you.
I mean, what's just very briefly, what's the difference in the second plan?
It is a plan run and managed by the city entirely.
No.
Where the city, yes.
No.
And
No.
it's more,
Don't even go there, you know, so, again,
Well, she's been coming over here for months, I said, no money, I said, I'm gonna throw it in there.
you know, I
Thank you,
want to thank the CUSD for stepping up and legislate with option one.
And before we, yes,
So, and then a
before
motion?
we do that, I just want to make sure that we speak about one thing. We're going to be the only city providing this for free. So
Yeah.
congrats to us. This is great for our community, but we will attract, obviously, residents from other cities to
Great.
probably our swim lessons. And I want to leave it on your plate. What is it, what direction you would like us to follow? Do you want us, recreation, to make sure that the swim lessons are provided to Calexico residents?
Well,
Or open to anyone?
If I may,
Yes.
you're gonna have a list of, you know, a schedule type of thing, right?
Correct,
You know,
that's the
that,
one.
that they will have to call and reserve a spot.
They're gonna do registrations at recreation, yes.
Yes, so, and make sure that, you know, again, you know, we want to welcome everybody, right? But preference to the citizens of Calexico, right? And I know that's a touchy subject,
It's good.
but I think, you know, this is
Do we
Calexico.
give priority to
Correct,
Calexico
correct,
residents and
correct.
probably have a wait list if residents from other cities request swimming lessons?
I would, two things, pretty much the same thing, but como se dice, yes, obviously priority to Calexico residents for the free stuff, but if the residents of other cities, if there's free spots available, well, they can have the free spots, ni modo que se echa a perder. Otherwise, have a fee scale for the people from other cities that can.
For swim lessons, okay.
For swimming lessons.
And, you know, just invite them to the open swim, you know,
And-
so we're not saying no.
But it's great that other people, because I know that I think El Centro charges $5 every time you want to go swim in their pool, and they have like a $20 million budget surplus, but that's their business. What's it called? But it's great if people from Hopeville come, El Centro, donde quiera, because that's sales tax. I mean, they're gonna get hungry coming out of the pool y todo eso. We can have a little mercadito there every time, like pool and hot dogs close the street. But tú sabes lo que haces.
Yes. Yes.
We must work for a public pool. It is our obligation. Okay, for the next year, I need for our public pool for this city.
Definitely work with planning.
Okay, but in this moment, how many dollar tienes que ocupar?
So how much money we need for
Yes,
Plan
how
1?
many
For
money?
Plan 1 in total is $54,011 with
Okay.
57 cents minus the 5,600 that we already do have. That's part of the last page of my report. That would be $48,411 dollars with 56 cents. That is not including the pending donations.
Okay, I know.
So if we were to count pending donations
Okay.
and
I
you know, it's
understand.
not secured, but if we were to count pending donations, then this comes out to be $23,411 with 57 cents. That is with pending
Okay.
donations.
So move.
All right, second?
It's just direction. I think it's just direction.
Muy bien.
But you need direction, you want me to?
I need direction.
Okay.
Direction is
That's the direction, plan 1.
Option 1,
To bring back.
Eso está
Right,
en el
option
presupuesto.
1.
okay.
Sí, en el presupuesto aprobamos los
Move
fondos.
forward with option 1, yes.
I would just add if you could please like talk to planning, because let's put a tianguis enfrente ahí de los pool nights y todo eso, maybe a movie night también. Pues sí, no cuesta mucho ya que estamos gastando dinero, ¿verdad?
Yes. Muy bien.
Generar impuestos.
See, so 3 Fun Family Fridays, we were planning on putting a concession stand inside the facilities for families to buy a few snacks. On Family Fun Fridays, we will have DJs as well, a DJ
Yes.
harmonizing the...
Ahí voy a estar.
Yes. Yes.
Muy bien.
Primero.
All right, well, thank you for your report.
Okay.
And
perfect,
congratulations again for your
perfect.
hard work. Thank you very
Congratulations,
much.
Norma.
Muy bien, muchas
Yes.
gracias.
Thank you.
Bien, bien, bravo, bravo.
Okay, last item is future agenda items. Roma?
Yeah. Okay, for our next regular meeting, please, Liliana Falumir and Ms. Denise Garcia submit a new proposal for the job description that was approved for an environmental services worker position in 2020 that is funded through our service agreement with Republic Services. Ya lo habías mencionado, ¿no? Okay, and police chief, Mr. Serrano, please present for the next regular meeting a security program to be followed between the Calexico Police and Calexico Unified School District for immediately safety for the student, please. Yo sé que ya lo está haciendo, pero ¿nos los puede dar a conocer? Quiero estar segura.
¿Es una presentación?
Sí, es una presentación. Quiero que la gente, los padres de familia, estén seguros que la ciudad de Calexico está trabajando con el distrito escolar. Que quiero que la gente lleve a sus hijos tranquila y que estamos nosotros trabajando. El mayor ya tuvo reuniones con ustedes, también con la Calexico, solamente para que nos presente un plan para estar tranquilos. Es todo.
Sí, ¿y cuál es el plan, verdad? La metodología.
¿Cuál es el plan? Es todo, ¿no? I would like to ask Ms. Garcia, City Clerk, to share with us the scheduled dates for the next commissions meetings. Mr. Gabi, please.
The schedule for the commission's upcoming meetings, Arts and Historical Commission, which is run by...
Is this for we're talking about future agenda items, or do you want it right now?
No, right now, ya tenemos
Okay.
fechas, ya tenemos fechas.
By Recreation Department, their scheduled meeting is for June 20, 2022. The Library Board of Trustees, run by the library, is June 7, 2022. Business Improvement District is the city manager's office, and
Okay.
it's June 9, 2022. Economic Development Financial Advisory Commission, run by the city manager and the finance department, is June 21, 2022. Measure H, run by the finance department, is June 8, 2022.
Okay.
Parks, Recreation, Beautification, Senior Services Commission, run by the Recreation Department, is June 22nd, 2022. Personnel Commission, run by City Clerk's Office, that is as needed.
I know.
Planning Commission, for the Planning Department, they hold their meetings on the second and fourth Monday of the month, and that hasn't ever changed. Police Advisory Board, for the Police Department, their next meeting is June 29, 2022.
Very good job. Thank you so
And
much.
we'll make sure we put this on our city website, that way all the dates are open for the public.
And if I just may, I know this meeting is not adjourned yet, but something that I want to remind, I know we also, this council, approved, compensating the commissioners. And there was an account number to that, attached to that ordinance, that it was for memberships and something else. And I don't see, our finance, person here, but I remember that also that account was with $0. So we need to make sure that comes to this council to make sure that we allocate money for that account, because if not, we're in violation of, our own ordinance. There is no money. Where are we gonna get the money from? So, we can just bring it back and make sure that, we identify the funding source and where are we going to pull this money from to make sure that we put the money into account so we can compensate the commissioners.
Mr. Garcia, una pregunta, because that is going to be a future agenda item. Would you rather us make a list for the things that are going to be considered for the next budget, send it to Fabila, and have him kind of try to piece it together, or que no los dé y decir, hey, de aquí para acá?
No, and I understand, that's on our next budget, but for now, they're going to meet, and they're going to meet before the end of this fiscal year. So there needs to be money in that account so they can be compensated. Because based on the ordinance that we approved, right, we said that, that money was going to come from that account. Right. We didn't agree to have, the departments, get it out of their budgets. So as it was approved, there is an account with $0, and yet, I hear that, all these meetings are scheduled, so we're going to have to start compensating. Unless we wait until that goes into effect after 30 days. Correct?
Okay, we'll be in time, because on the
So-
15th, we'll consider allocating.
Yeah, so
money.
that's why
It
I
has
want
to happen.
I want to make sure that we bring that up,
That's it.
so that way that the departments are not affected, or they're not running around trying to find this money to pay those stipends.
De acuerdo.
So let's just make sure that we put money into that account.
Yeah, in the budget. Okay, muy bien.
Anything for future? You? No?
Yeah.
Out of courtesy for, I know Ms. Arreola Fernandez not here, but last time she had requested an update on the Farm Worker Service Center. I know she alluded to you, Mr. Favila. You and I can get together if you want to. As a courtesy for her, I believe, I'm familiar with that project. I can probably give an update on that one, or
Okay.
if you want to do it, we'll get together on that.
Okay.
I know she's not here, she wanted that. I know you didn't see it in the agenda, but we can certainly, give an update to the citizens what's going on with the project. That's all I have.
But one last thing I forgot, and going back to one of the items that we had before us. Ms. Falomir, you mentioned about the lights, or someone mentioned about the lights at the businesses, and actually it was for the flags, that there were some of the bases where the flags
Right.
go are in,
They were
private
either-
property,
Yeah,
or
they
private
were either
businesses, right?
damaged or on private property.
Yes. So, but something that I just remember, these private businesses also have lights. And of course, we can't really tell them, change the light bulb, right? But, a lot of those businesses, again, on their pillars, they have lights that are out. And I didn't know whether those were ours as the city responsible, or the business. So I think that if they're ours, we need to look into that. If they're the business, hopefully we can entice them to, change the light bulb, or I don't know if there is more than just changing a light bulb, electrical issue. But that's another situation also. So if we were to go out, and ask the businesses to replace those light bulbs, I think it will help with the lighting in downtown that is badly needed. That's another issue that I want to make sure that we take care of it. I was told, many moons ago, it seems like, that we were going to start replacing those lights, that we were even going to get a bucket truck to do that, because that's something that we were missing. So I want to have an update on that. I want to make sure that we are proactive with downtown. I know that, the lighting is one of the many issues that we have, but at least if we can start with that, I think that will do a lot for safety. A lot of the things that are happening now, I think that can be addressed, or at least mitigated somehow, with plenty of lighting. So, and there's some areas that are really just, honestly, not something that is welcoming or even safe. So if we can just look into that. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, I need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Mrs. Romo, seconded. Ms. Ortega seconds it. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. And you know what? Even if let's just say she was right.
Are you okay?
Still not my call.
No. So,
I'm still here.
You missed item number 19.
I know. I'll wait to
¿With who? Sandra. ¿Quién es?
Senior member